Ahead, Honorable Gutierrez.
A quick interjection, Mr. Chair. Questions germane to the questions of Congressman Acop to Mr. Edward Fajardo.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Fajardo, good afternoon po. Just a few questions lang po no, in relation to mga tinanong na po ni Congressman Acop. Startling revelation po sa amin po siguro na sinasabi niyo po ngayon na hindi po kayo personally nag-disburse ng CF, kundi si Colonel Dennis Nolasco. Kasi po, sa pagkakaintindi po namin, based on the hearings, unfortunately, you were not around since the first 6 hearings. And it's always been made to appear po na kayo po yung may, kayo po yung may, kumbaga, you would have the most knowledge as the special disbursing officer over in confidential funds. And so we were always been made to believe that it would be you who would be able to determine on the pinpoint kung ano po yung mga mistakes that were pointed out by COA and the other erroneous and false matters po na nakita po namin.
Go ahead, Mr. Fajardo.
But right now, right now you're telling us po na lahat po ito idinaan kay Colonel Dennis Nolasco. Is that a fair statement po?
Your Honor, tama po.
So yung situation po na kapag kayo ay nakakapagtanggap ng cheque, once cleared, you're in cash po ninyo, diretso dinalagay nyo sa vault, pero your only interaction with it is yung pag-disburse nito kay Colonel Nolasco. And this will occur in your office po ba, Mr. Fajardo, Mr. Chair?
Sa DepEd po, Your Honor.
Sa DepEd. Now, Mr. Fajardo, you've seen na po no, yung certification na binabanggit ni Congressman Acop. You've seen it for yourself. And this is the same certification that you signed that you attached to the liquidation report. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
May I ask po, Mr. Fajardo, kung aware po kayo yung proceedings, yung last hearing po namin? Were you able to hear of yung mga statements made, for example, ni Attorney Camora in relation to your responsibilities, or hindi nyo po napapanood?
Hindi ko po napanood, Your Honor. Sorry
Sige,
po.
to refresh your memory na lang po, no, and I'll just briefly, Mr. Chair, I'd like to reconfirm with Attorney Camora just some statements that we made last time, Attorney Camora. Sorry. At least now the SDOs are here. Just to refresh their memory, yung responsibilities po ng SDO ay nakalatag naman po dun sa joint circular natin. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
And you were of the opinion that the responsibilities of the special disbursing officer cannot be delegated. Tama po ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chair, since siya naman po yung nakapirma sa certification.
So the statements in the certification, which we have established, the form that has been provided by the joint circular, which cannot be amended or changed, these give a particular responsibility to the SDO, and it certifies that they personally disburse the funds. Is that our understanding, Attorney Camora?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Attorney Camora. So, Mr. Fajardo, naintindihan po natin yung statement po ng ating COA, no? Ang sinasabi po ng certification ay kayo po ay personally responsible para sa disbursement. Sinabi po ni rin based on certification na hindi po ito pwede i-delegate. Ngunit ngayon sinasabi niyo po sa amin na binigay po yung responsibilidad kay Colonel Nolasco.
Your Honor, ako po yung nagdi-disperse as a disbursing officer.
Pero ngayon po sinasabi niyo po sa amin sa committee na to na hindi niyo po ma-pinpoint kung saan napunta yung pera. Dahil ang mas may alam po dito ay yung security officer po ninyo.
Yes, Your Honor, kasi siya po ang designated security officer. Siya po ang expert doon sa paggawa po noon.
Pero so,
hindi po ako expert doon.
hindi po yung expert, dumadaan lang po sa'yo yung pera. Kahit
Your
yung certifications po na iyong isinusumite sa
Ah,
COA ay galing po kay Colonel
Ay, hindi.
Nolasco.
Si Colonel Lasco po, ang work lang po niya ay as a designated security officer, siya lang po yung sa field.
I'm sorry?
Sa field po. Sa field.
Sa bill?
Sa confidential operations po.
Okay, so confidential operations siya po. Pero
Yes, Your Honor.
paano po yung mga documentary evidence of payment, yung ating mga acknowledgement receipt? Saan po ito galing?
Sa kanya ko po kinukuha.
Yun nga po yung sinasabi po namin dito, Mr. Fajardo, no? Lahat ng pera dumadaan kay Colonel Nolasco, going out for the disbursement in the operations. And all of the acknowledgement receipts and documentary evidence of payment dumadaan rin kay Colonel Nolasco pabalik sa opisina to you.
Yes, Your Honor. Binabalik po niya sa akin.
You have never had any interaction whatsoever with any of the recipients of the money.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you cannot verify po the truthfulness of the ARs that you receive.
Your Honor, nagbe-base lang po ako dun sa kung saan lang po talaga pwedeng igastos ka, let's say, payment of rewards, mga ganyan po.
Exactly po. Pero you're just basing on that. Halimbawa po, by specific form yung ating acknowledgement receipts. Dapat nandyan yung pangalan, yung signature, yung date, yung purpose, yung amount. And you can only testify as to the category based on what Colonel Nolasco would feed you, what information. Pero hindi niyo po kilala kung sino nagpirma. Hindi niyo po alam kung totoo yung pirma. Hindi mo alam kung tama yung date. Is that correct, Mr. Fajardo?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So ano pa po ang punto ng Special Disbursement Officer? Naintindihan niyo po, Mr. Chair, most respectfully, kayo po ang bonded po dito. Kayo po ang, kapag may problema ang CF, kayo po ang mananagot sa Treasury. Do you understand that, Mr. Fajardo?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how can you say now in full honesty, yung certification po ninyo, that you handled personally yung disbursement ng confidential funds?
Nagdi-disburse po ako. Nagdi-disburse po ako ng confidential fund sa security officer po.
Yun nga po. So basically, ang ginagawa po lang po pala ninyo ay binibigay niyo yung pera sa security officer, but you have no role whatsoever in the verification of the acknowledged receipts. You have no role whatsoever in scrutinizing yung documentary evidences of payment. In fact, Mr. Fajardo, let me ask you this po, no? I don't know if you've heard of this, pero earlier in one of the hearings, we've had po yung certifications by certain officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines po, no? Ginamit po ninyo, you attached it to the liquidation report as evidence po ng confidential operations. Yet, sinabi po ng military na they did not receive a single peso from the Office of the Department of Education. And sabi rin po ng military officers, they did not know that the certification would be used in support of the liquidation report. So Mr. Fajardo, kayo po yung nag-attach ng certifications na yun. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, ako po ang nag-attach noon, pero nag-explain na po ako noon kay Yusek Mike kung ano pong nangyari doon.
And if kayo po yung nag-attach and you certified, ito po yung certification that you have the expenses occurred in connection with the agency's confidential operations activities with supporting documents attached to the liquidation of CF, documentary evidence of payment kept in sealed envelope in the vault of the Office of the SDO. You certified this po, Mr. Fajardo. Yet you
Yes,
cannot
Your Honor.
explain the relation kasi hindi po kayo yung personally nag-manage ng DEPs. Tama po ba?
Hindi po ako, Your Honor, ang nag-ano po ng DFEs. Sa Phil po kasi yung documentary evidence of payment, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chair, I think this is something that the committee should consider. All this along, we were being led across this path, trying to follow the trail to the SDO. And now that the SDO has finally appeared, he still could not answer or be accountable. He couldn't explain the amounts that were disbursed, the locations. He cannot explain the certifications used. In fact, I think what I've seen so far is that Mr. Fajardo, to the extent of his capability, only categorized. Tama po ba? Kayo po yung nag-certify sa liquidation report, yung basis po na ito ay payment of rewards, ito payment of medicines. Pero when we look into the very details and the ARs that were presented, ARs which, by the way, we have issues of fictitiousness or erroneousness, na hindi nyo rin po masagot, it still leads down to another officer. So I think, Mr. Chair, I join, although the motion has already been moved on, I join with the motion of Congressman Acop that I think we have to invite Colonel Nolasco. He would hold the key, siguro po, to what we're trying to find here. Mr. Chair, na-move naman po yung motion na yun. So I'm just reiterating the importance. With that, Mr. Chair, I think we'd also be curious as to if the same system is being implemented in the Office of the Vice President. But seeing as this is only an interjection po, no, the question is Congressman Acop. I will yield to other interpellators, then we'll just move from there. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Congressman
Mr. Chair.
Gutierrez.
Mr. Chair,